You've been told a lie, and it's not a small one. It's a foundational lie that our entire economy is built on, and it's designed to do one thing: keep you financially trapped. It probably came from your parents, and I'm sure they meant well. You know the one: renting is just throwing money away. But that piece of advice, it's a trap door, and falling through it could cost you literally over $1 million. So let's actually run the numbers on this so-called American dream. The story goes like this. Buying a home is your ticket to wealth. You pay your mortgage, you build this thing called equity. It's a nice, simple story. The problem is, it's not the real story, and I'm going to show you the part that they always seem to leave out. Okay, so let's take a pretty standard mortgage payment, say $2,400. You make that payment and you feel good, right? You think you just invested in your future, but you didn't. Here's the uncomfortable truth. For the first several years of that loan, about $2,100 of that payment is pure interest paid directly to the bank. It's gone. It evaporates, just like rent. So let me ask you, who's really throwing money away here? And believe me, this is just the beginning. It gets so much worse. Here's a little rule that most people never realize, and it changes everything. Rent is the maximum you'll ever pay for housing in a month. A mortgage? That's the absolute minimum. It's just the cover charge to get in the door. Now, let's talk about all those phantom costs nobody ever warns you about. First up, property taxes. On a pretty typical $400,000 house, that's another $500, poof, every single month. That money doesn't build a single cent of equity. You will never see it again. It's just gone. Okay, next, homeowner's insurance. That's another $200 a month, and that's being generous. Again, zero wealth built. It's just another cost you can never get back. The financial bleeding just keeps on going. And here's the fun one they don't really advertise. If you can't put down 20%, which, let's face it, is most people, you get hit with something called PMI, private mortgage insurance. Get this, it's a fee you pay to protect the bank. Not you, the bank. That's another $200 a month that just vanishes into thin air. And then, real life happens. The roof starts leaking, the water heater decides to explode on a holiday weekend. The general rule of thumb, you should budget about 1% of your home's value every single year for maintenance. So on that same house, that's another $333 a month you have to set aside for all the things that are, without a doubt, gonna break. So let's add this all up. You've got the interest, the taxes, the insurance, the PMI, the maintenance. It comes to $3,333 a month. That's money that builds exactly zero equity. It's pure unrecoverable cost. It's throwaway money. So if you could rent a similar place for, say, $2,500, you are literally lighting over $800 on fire every single month, just for the privilege of owning. And here's the crazy part. That's not even the biggest mistake. Yeah. This is where the math stops being theoretical and it gets violent. We're about to talk about something called opportunity cost. And honestly, this is the part of the equation that should make you deeply uncomfortable. Because this is where we find the $1 million mistake. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what about appreciation? Houses go up in value. And yeah, sure, they can. But that's the wrong question. The real question is, what could all that money have been doing instead of being trapped inside drywall and being eaten away by taxes? So let's imagine a completely different path for a second. Instead of buying, you just rent. You take that $40,000 down payment and you invest it. You take that $800 a month you're saving by not owning, and you invest that too. And then you just let it sit for 30 years. What happens next? It's staggering. So here it is, the two paths, side by side. After 30 years, the homeowner, yeah, they have a paid-off house. But they've also burned hundreds of thousands of dollars on costs they'll never see again. Their net worth is basically the house. And the renter? Their investment portfolio is now worth over $1.5 million. That's not equity, that's liquid, cash. So, you tell me, one person has a pile of bricks and wood that they have to go through the hassle of selling just to touch their money. The other has over $1 million they can access tomorrow. Who actually won here? But the problem with owning a home, it isn't just about the numbers, it's psychological. We're all taught to worship at the altar of equity. But what if I told you equity isn't what you think it is? What if it's actually a prison? This is a key point most people miss. Equity is not money.
You can't walk into a grocery store and buy food with your equity. You can't pay for a medical emergency with it. The only way to get your hands on that money is to either sell your home or go deeper into debt with a loan. It's not wealth, it's the illusion of wealth. See, the real goal here isn't equity, it's liquidity. It's having cash that you can actually access and actually use. That's what gives you options in life. That is real freedom. Because when you own a house, you're anchored. You get offered that dream job in another city? You probably can't take it. Want to quit and start your own business? What if the furnace breaks? You're locked into a 30-year contract with a bank that, frankly, does not care about you or your dreams. You're stuck.
So if the math is this brutal, this clear, why does everyone still push so hard for it? Why is there so much pressure? It's because you're not just buying a house. You're paying what I call a social compliance fee.
We buy houses because it's a signal to everyone else that we've made it. It's a performance. It's a costume you wear for society. You're literally buying the appearance of being wealthy while trading away the actual reality of financial freedom. So when you strip everything else away, that's the real choice you're making. It's not really rent versus buy. It's a choice between what you value more. Do you want to look wealthy or do you want to be wealthy? Because right now trying to do both is nearly impossible.